Hello everybody, in this video we will speak about the crisis essence, probably the most known essence of all. Crisis essence, also called rescue remedy or five flower essence according to its producer, contains five remedies, so it is a combination and it's used for in acute situations. And it contains five remedies: rock rose for panic, cherry plum for fear of losing self-control, clematis for disconnection from reality or for collapse, star of Bethlehem for shock, and impatience for tension and restlessness. As a whole, it reduces stress and calms down. So, typical situations when we can use crisis essence is, for example, after a death of a dear person, to calm the person down because there is a shock, and Star of Bethlehem is very good for shock after bad news. Before exams, no matter whether the student feels panicky or he feels tension and hurriedness, and he may make unnecessary mistakes, or paralysis in clematis, and sometimes, for example, somebody may be terrified after some terrifying experience, like car accident. Here, the rock rose corresponds to this condition. Somebody may be on the verge of collapse because he feels his emotions are overwhelming, and he even may have a fear that he could do something terrible or that he could get crazy. So it corresponds to cherry plum. Or, for example, when somebody gets myocardial infarction, and when we have called emergency and wait, we can give him crisis essence to reduce his stress and fear, and it can significantly improve his prognosis. However, crisis essence is often overused, and we should use crisis essence only when we have limited time, so we are in a hurry and do not have time to take the whole history. When we have limited information, for example, we treat animals and we just know that he is submissive, but we do not know anything more because we are not veterinarians and do not understand, for example, dogs' psychology, so we can give crisis essence and centauri, for example, or when the number of available essences is limited, so we can use crisis essence and add something if we have. Otherwise, it is better to make a more precise prescription. It can be used alone or in combination with the other essences, and we should remember that when we mix crisis essence with the other essences, we should give double dose. So when average dose is 1 drop for every 10 milliliters in the bottle, so we give 2 drops per 10 milliliters. And in dramatic situations, sometimes we do not give it only to the patient, but also to his, for example, relatives. If you imagine an acutely ill child, so the child may get panicky, but the parents are maybe still more panicky, because in a rock rose state, the panic spreads to the other people. And as for dosage, we can take it every hour, every quarter an hour, and in very acute situations we can give it every minute or two and drop it directly into the mouth or under the tongue. We do not need to dilute it in some drink. Crisis essence has some limitations. It is specific for acuteness of the problem but does not deal with the underlying cause. And the patient only very rarely needs all the 5 essences that are present in the crisis essence, and that is why there always will be some essence superfluous. And what's the most important is a warning that you never, that crisis essence can never replace the classical therapy. It works very well as a support, as a complementary therapy, as a supportive therapy, but it cannot replace the classical medicine, for example, in the treatment of myocardial infarction. So please, first, if in very acute conditions, first call emergency and then give crisis essence, and this combination will have the best effect.
The crisis essence can also be used locally in a form of a commercially produced rescue cream, and it's a combination of crisis essence and crab apple. And it can be used for acute treatment of minor local problems like skin, joints, muscles, gums. And it's not suitable for a chronic treatment. Instead, a more precise combination should be chosen. So, still once, the person that might need crisis essence may be too fast, so impatience may help him, or too slow and paralyzed, so clematis may be useful. Or he may be stuck in the past, in a shock, Star of Bethlehem, or be terrified by possible future, so rock rose. Or he just may need to keep control over himself, over his emotions, so he will need cherry plum. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. And in the next video, you will be able to verify your knowledge of the essences in the remedy test 1.